Hey, Bruce.
Hi, Steve.
Unlike the other night, this one was a little harder to see coming. What do you think turned it around for you guys?
Listen, I think we started attacking better, getting to the net. We talked about that after the second period that, we were just turning down too many shots. And as a team, we've tried to make a conscious effort this year of being a little more straightforward, and obviously plays will open up when you see them. So that was part of it. I think Freddie had a lot to do with the scrap with Wilson. Kind of got everyone's attention on the bench. That's arguably the toughest guy in the National Hockey League. Z would be in that mix too, obviously, but and Freddie, stood in there and gave us a bit of a boost. I don't know what it does to their team, but I know it gives us a boost. And then behind you, you really have, when you're down a couple goals, we talked about, we just got to press and live with the result. And if they come back the other way and make good plays against us, then we'll move on. But I thought keeping pucks alive by our D had a lot to do with it. And sure enough, Charlie getting up the ice, Losey making a play, Carlo, we just got a little more involved, and hopefully we can feed off that going forward where we, good risk reward decisions. But so I'd say that was it. Our D, a little more active, and Freddie woke us up a little bit.
Let's go to Joe Haggerty.
Hey, Butchie, just building off what you just said, how encouraging was the young defenseman really being in the mix offensively for some of those goals? Zboril with the pass down low to Pasta on his goal. Nice play by Lozon to set up Smith on the other goal. They were really getting into the mix and helping create things there in the third period. Yeah,
well, listen, Washington collapses a little bit. So we talked about this in the pre-scout the other night, that there would be some opportunity for our D to get involved. Now, there was a play the other night. We even specifically talked to Brandon. They were 4 low and one guy in the slot, and Brandon got a little too low in terms of outside the dots and kind of an off net shot. So we talked about, if you're going to go down, get yourself in good ice or stay high like McAvoy and Zboril did now as a set play, or get down there to be shot ready. So, good for them for making the adjustment. Again, they got a couple goals from their D. Z got a goal. Carlson got one. So you need that today's NHL, unless you're in a 2-1 game and the goals aren't there. But if you're in a game where you need 3 or 4 to win, then they're going to have to be part of it. And so very encouraging. We know it's in Charlie. Carlo had 6, I think, his rookie year. So there's a little more there. And Lozon and Zboril have the ability to pitch in. So we want to make sure that we're getting that out of them. And I think, they're trying to defend well, do all the right things, play against good players every night. So it's a big ask, but they came through in the third, and a big part of it, why we got 2 points.
Dan Roach, go ahead.
Hey, Bruce, just how much did the Pasta goal there in the second period, along with Freddie, kind of get you going there too?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you needed something. You got to get on the board sooner or later. He's our guy. They run a lot of good face-off plays. Scored one the other night with McAvoy diving down to Marsh. They got another one from Pasta in the third. That's a set kind of we call it the Kessel. They do it in Arizona to us. So we borrowed it from them. And then the other one's just a pop out, sort of get it to the half wall, pop out to the slot. A lot of those are good against man-to-man because people have to chase you around. If you watch the Pasta second one, Carlson stumbles behind the net because he's chasing him. The other night it was Jensen turned his back. So against some man-to-man stuff, you can run certain plays, and good for those guys for being students of the game. Good for Jay Pandolfo to pointing out which plays may work. And so I was happy for them. And, Pasta can do that. He was a little off net early, the other night, power play, but he found his sights as the game went on. Obviously we needed it.
Go next to Connor Ryan.
Hey, Bruce, you kind of touched on it, but for Frederic to drop the gloves there with the guy with the reputation like Wilson, what does that kind of say about a young player like Trent and his willingness to challenge a guy like him there?
Well, listen, that's part of his game's growing in the American League. He knows it's in him. He tried the other night. Tried with Wilson the other night. So he's recognizing that what he has to do to spark us. We're going to give him some rope with his offensive game and some of the structure on the wall because he's a natural centerman, but he needs to bring the assertiveness, the abrasiveness, and he's drawn penalties. He's annoyed people. So that's just part of the game that, some of the intangibles that certain players bring. And we wanted to be heavier this year, Dan. We've talked about that with Richie's doing a good job getting to the front of the net, getting in people's ways with Losey in the back end, now with Freddie. So we're trying to build our club where we're a little bit more abrasive of still having the speed and skill. So that's good for Freddie. It's something that if he can bring when it's needed, without being a goof and taking bad penalties, undisciplined penalties, then we're going to relish that. And tonight was a perfect timing.
Go next to Steve Wino.
Hey, Bruce. Was this the kind of expectation you had for David Pastrnak, kind of getting his rhythm in the second game?
Yeah, I mean, he's been skating hard. He's he's feeling very healthy. Was able to work with our skating coach Kim Brandvold for at least minimum 3 weeks, and gets a little boring on your own all the time. But he's certainly working on his shot, and but was ready a little bit ahead of schedule. Thankfully for us, we knew that could be a possibility probably about a month ago because he's the way he keeps himself in shape, and we're happy to have him in the lineup. So again, he's a threat every time he's on the ice. He just looks stronger on pucks, and that's just the physical maturity coming through. So again, nice weapon to have back in your mix.
We'll take last question from Coach from Timmy Rosenthal.
Hey, Bruce, I know in the past, going into intermission before the comebacks where you weren't playing as well, you would send a direct message to your team. Tonight, did you have a message in particular you want to convey, or did you get the sense that the players knew what they had to do?
No, the message was, listen, some harder to play against offensively earlier this year was a little more forceful. And today it was a reminder of that harder to play against offensively usually means winning a puck, putting yourself in a position to put it to the net, having people go to the net to occupy space, draw penalties, force the goalie to fight to see it, rebounds. So that was the reminder. And there's, a little bit to our D2 as well. There's a reason, the numbers on your score sheet aren't great because you're not working hard enough, even though you think you might be, to get your shot through or to skate to open ice. And sure enough, they took it to heart. Charlie is the one guy that has done it consistently for us. The other younger guys, as I said earlier, they're trying to do a lot of things all at once here to make us a good hockey club. And tonight we asked for a little more offense, and we got it. We got it from some of the Corrali play to Carlo. We talked about them too being part of it. That it takes all 20 guys. It can't just be Pasta hoping he gets a hat trick and the power play scores. And so good for him and Bjorkit and Wags to go win pucks and attack. Like Wags took a big hit there, I think, from Orloff, trying to get to the net, and then we recover the puck. So that was the message, and they came through. It doesn't mean you're always going to finish, but we did, and good for them.